Hi friends, it's Deanna here, and today we're going to be sewing the adult cold shoulder romper, and I'm really excited because this is a really cute romper, and we know we all love rompers, and I love the cold shoulder look. I'm actually doing the long sleeve cuffed version with the skirt. And I'm also doing the pockets, which I know a lot of us are scared of pockets with zippers. These are the welt pockets, so they're a little bit scary, but they're not hard. They're just a puzzle you need to figure out. So we're gonna figure it out together. But before I get started, let me remind you about our Fun Fin giveaway of our $50 Ellie and Matt gift certificate that we do every month. And all you have to do to enter is to subscribe, and once you subscribe, comment below and let us know that you have subscribed. Let us know what you love about our patterns. Let us know what you love about our tutorials. We want to hear from you, and then you will be in the running to win the $50 Ellie and Mikey certificate. So that's awesome. You can buy so many patterns with that. I know you're excited about that. So let's go ahead and get started. Once again, I'm using the Ellie and Mac cold shoulder romper, adult cold shoulder romper, and we're gonna get started. So I've got my pieces already all cut out, and I'm going to grab my back and my front, and I'm gonna put them face up on my board, and I'm going to meet the shoulders, and I am going to sew them at the shoulder seams. We're gonna put those shoulder seams together, and we're gonna put them right sides together. So we're gonna they're gonna face each other, right sides together, and pin. And so I am going to be using my serger for these steps, but if you have a sewing machine, if you don't have a serger, you can use any kind of stretch stitch on your sewing machine, whatever stretch stitch best fits the material that you're using. So what I would do is I would grab my fabric, and I would try to figure out what stretch stitch does the best stretch stitch in your fabric that you're using. Because some fabrics have a lot more stretch than others. It might be something different, but it might be one that you already use, you use on a regular basis. So yeah, here's my shoulders. They're already put together. I'm going to put this to the side for a minute, and I'm going to work on my sleeve. If you're doing a short sleeve, you could go ahead and attach the band already. You would be folding that band right sides together, like so. This one's folded right sides together, and steam, and then you would put it raw edges together, and you can go ahead and sew. And then after that's on, you would fold the sleeves right sides together and sew down the side. So this is the side of the sleeve, this is the top of the sleeve right here, this is the outer side. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that now because I'm doing cuffs, so I'm gonna put the cuffs on after I sew this side seams. But you can also, if you want to do your bands, if you want to sew your cuff on first, you can do that as well. I already did, where did I put my scissors? I already did my other sleeve, so I'm only doing this one to show you. But I sewed it down the side. I've got like one sleeve. And I'm gonna grab my cuff, my sleeve cuff, and I'm folding it right sides together first. Wrong sides together, sorry. Wrong sides together. And I'm going to steam it to give it that crease, so I can remember where the crease is. Now I'm gonna fold it right sides together again, but the other way, long way, and I'm gonna sew that side together. That was the long way. And that makes it one continuous band. See? Now I'm gonna fold it back up over that fold that we created earlier, that we steamed up, and pin the seams. I should have been more careful when I cut my fabric. Well, I guess this is all one piece. Because look at that, like the seams almost want to match, but they don't quite match. Not the seams, the lines. Not the best. I left a little piece here that was kind of hanging over. I'm just going to chop it off. Okay, I'm going to pin at the seams. I'm going to go to the front, and that's my half. Fold it down the front, and I'm just going to mark it. My scissors are getting really dull. I need to sharpen them. And then I'm going to grab my sleeve, and I'm also going to mark the edge, the half. That way I can fit my cuff right into my sleeve and match up first the seams. Come on. And then I'm going to go to the other side and match up those half points. And you will notice that your sleeve is bigger than your cuff, which means that you're going to have to stretch your cuff a little bit as you're sewing it on. I'm going to put it right there, raw edges together, right sides together. Make sure you're not sewing anything else together. We're going to start at the seam. I just kind of do a little stitch, and then I'm going to pull on the sleeve so it matches the width of the cuff. And pull on that sleeve to match the width of the cuff. Making sure that you're catching all 3 layers. See? All in there. I'm going to open it, and my cuffs are on. Another missed opportunity to have pattern matched. That's alright. I don't know why. I'm not very good at pattern matching. Alright, now we're going to grab our top. Oh, actually, before we attach the sleeves, I forgot. We're going to fold our top right sides together. If you have looked at the instructions, you were probably yelling at me like, the sides, you got to do the sides. Whoops, I didn't listen to y'all, and I'm sorry. So now we're going to do the sides. We're going to grab our front on our back, and we're going to put them right on top of each other. I am going to try to match these seams, because, I mean, this pattern line things, because I did, you know, when I was cutting some pieces of it, I was like, oh yeah, make sure you cut it right. But then other parts, I'm like, didn't even think about it. It happens. Let me know if you are the kind that likes to have all your stripes match. Or if you're just like me and are like, Well, I like them too much. I'm just not the best at it. I forget, and then I'm like, it's okay. And I'm like, you know. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and sew those side seams. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go ahead and sew the side seams, and then we'll move out to put our sleeves on. I was going to tell you, I'm using double brush poly. I always forget to tell you what kind of fabric it is. This is double brush poly, and this one came from Olga's Fabrics. So I'm going to go ahead and sew those side seams, and then we'll move on to the sleeves. Alrighty, so now that I've sewed my sides together, I'm going to open up my arms. See, this is my armhole where my arm is supposed to go. I'm going to grab my sleeve, and it's all right side out. And if you look at your sleeve, you have your seam over here, and you're going to match that seam with your inside seam. So the inside seam of your shirt and the inside seam of your sleeve, they're going to match together, and you're going to put them right sides together. And you're going to go up one side, right until that pointed edge finishes on your sleeve. It just goes whoop, and then like your edge of the sleeve kind of turns the other way, whoop, goes kind of down. So you're just going up until the end up point of that sleeve. Okay, and you're not really like stretching it out, you're just putting it right on there and pin. So if you can see, here's my neck, here's my sleeve, it's like attached right there. So we're going to go ahead and sew it onto the bodice. Okay. I already sewed my other sleeve, so yay. I just did. Well, right after I did my seams. Make sure nothing else is getting caught. Make sure you pull everything else out of the way. You don't want to get it cut under, and then would be really upset. Okay, so now our sleeve is on. So you can see right there. See, it's my neckline, my sleeve, half my sleeve is on. It's already, we got a cold shoulder. Okay, now we're gonna grab our band, or cold shoulder band, or armband, and we're gonna fold it wrong sides together. Sounded like I was gonna say right sides together, didn't it? Yeah, I tricked you. Wrong sides together, and we're gonna steam. Actually, I probably was thinking right sides together in my mind, and then I'm like, no, wait. Now we're gonna open it up and fold it right sides together. See? And we're gonna sew that raw edge, that short raw edge, to make it one continuous band. One band. Now we're gonna fold the band wrong sides together again, where we already did that memory fold. Awesome. And we're gonna pin the back seam, and then we're gonna fold it, the back seam, and go to the front, and here is our front half. Then I'm going to fold it again and put that front right on top. Remember to keep the raw edges together. Lick your finger if you have to. Ew, that's gross, right? Ew, that's gross. And then I'm gonna clip on the two sides. This is my romper. I can lick it if I want. You lick your own romper if you want to. I won't make fun of you. It's normal. People do that all the time. So we're gonna go ahead and grab the shoulder seam, and we're gonna go like this, kind of down to the bottom, and here's my half. And then if you want to, just to make sure, grab the front and the back seams, the shoulder seams, and the other side, go to the side. It is just a tiny hair, like a hair off, like not that much for me. So it's basically to that seam where I stopped with my shirt. But it might not be, so you just want to make sure that it's half. If it is like basically right there, then you know you can just go to the sleeve. It's really up to you. So I'm gonna go ahead and match up the raw edges together. I'm gonna leave this what do you call it, the seam. I'm gonna put it in the back because that way you can't really see it, but we're matching those raw edges. Raw edges. I'm matching the raw edges and those quarter points I just marked. My quarter points. And then I'm going to sew my band on. And this is actually the same way that we're gonna sew our neckband on. So I'm gonna start at the seam and I'm gonna go all the way around. And I'll show you what I do with my bands. I always make sure my bands are facing up because then I can see how much of my band I'm gonna get. So I always make the band face up. Then I grab the next part where my quarter is. I make sure that all of the raw edges align. And I go. Using my left hand to guide my sewing machine, but if you're right-handed, you might do it the other way around. Let me know if you sew differently. Like, do you sew left-handed? I don't know. What foot do you use for your sewing machine, foot? Do you use your right foot or your left foot? I want to know these things. I want to get to know you all in a deeper level. So yeah, yes, we are sewing all these quarter points. Making sure for sure that you are not catching any other part of your fabric, just your band and your armhole area. Now we're gonna steam. Always make sure that your seams are all going the same way. They're all going in towards the bodice. Okay, now we're gonna do our top is almost done. Now we're gonna do our neckband. I'm gonna grab my neckband and we're gonna do the same thing we did to the armband. We're gonna fold it wrong sides together and give it that memory crease. You know, it's so funny. I'm so funny. I was so excited. I'm like, whoa, look at these lines matching up. Duh, how would they not match up? I'm just folding it in half. Really? Really? Like, really? You just thought that? My brain is like fried right now. Don't know why. All right, we're gonna fold the right sides together. We're gonna sew that short raw edge. I had coffee today. Does that have anything to do with it? Possibly. I'm gonna blame the coffee. Coffee has nothing to do with it. I'm kidding, coffee. All right, I'm going to lick my romper one more time. I'm sorry, kidding. I'll try to stop. Let me know, what do you use to do that? Like, do you have like some kind of gel, you know, like that stuff that the cashiers have to, like, when they're doing bills, like counting bills or whatever, and they like use that pink gel stuff? I don't know what that is. I just folded my band in half. Here's my one half. I'm going to the front. That's gonna be my front half. I'm doing the same thing I did for the armbands. So I'm pinning that front half, and then I'm going to match the front and the back. And I'm going to mark the sides. Tell me what you do. Do you just use you wet your finger and just go for it like I do? Or do you think that's gross? Don't tell me if you think that's gross. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to go to the back. So I'm going to find the quarters of my neckline. So I'm going to match my two shoulder seams. I'm going to go to the back. My husband would probably be like, ew, Diana. And then I'm going to go to the front. And clip. And then I'm going to match the front and the back. And I'm going to go to one side. Ew, you are so gross. You're licking your fabric. Like, ew. Yep. Alright, now that I cut those, I'm going to match them up with my with my neckband. I'm going to start from the back because I want that seam to be in the back. And then I'm going to the side. Then I'm going to the front. Then I'm going to the other side. And I am done. I am also done singing. Sorry. Okay, and now I'm gonna start sewing. Again, band face up, just like we did our shoulders. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back and start on our bottom. Whoop, whoop. Now my neckband is on, and I am really mad at myself. Look at this. The only time you see the lines is right here and right here. I could have moved it like one little bit over, and it would be just fine, but I didn't. That's fine. I'm gonna try it on, and if it bothers me, then my little friend here will help me out. That's what happens when you don't pay attention. It's okay. It's all right. We'll be fine. All right, I'm grabbing my pocket. We're working on pockets now. Here's my one pocket piece, and I am going to grab it and I'm going to use my, whatever you call this stuff, interfacing. I'm going to attach my interfacing on, however it is that you attach it on as per manual instructions. After I attach that on, I'm going to grab my pocket pattern piece. I have it here somewhere. And put it right on top. And I'm going to grab my pen. And I am going to trace my pocket piece. Trace the pocket. The rectangle. Trace the rectangle. Yeah, I cut out the rectangle out of the pocket. I also cut it out of the pattern piece. The bottom pattern piece. Bottom's pattern piece. Alright, so that's my rectangle right there. All traced out. I'm going to grab my handy dandy ruler and measure in 1/2 inch, and I am going to put a dot 1/2 inch in from the edge right at the middle. I'm going to grab my skirt, sorry, wrong one, because I already did one of my pockets, but I obviously want to do both of my pockets on my front skirt. I don't know why I would grab the back and try to go over there and look for a pocket. I guess if you wanted to do like a statement pocket, one in the front, one in the back, up to you. If you only wanted to do one pocket is just fine. I'm grabbing my pattern piece and I'm placing it right on top. Okay, this is my pocket pattern piece seam. I don't know what I did over here. Ignore it. I don't know why that's there. Don't even look at it. That was my mistake. I don't know why I cut all the way over there. I'm grabbing my pocket and I am going to place my pocket right on top of, like, I'm going to line it up to this pocket pattern piece. So I'm like matching up the rectangle, and then I'm going to put it like right where it belongs on my fabric, on top of my skirt. So I'm going to have to like move it, maneuver it back and forth, kind of get it like right where I want it. Pull it up a little bit. Whoop, scoop. Scoop, scoop. Down a little bit. Scoop, scoop, scoop. And it is perfect. I'm going to move my pattern piece out of the way. There is my pocket position where it needs to be. And I'm going to pin it onto my skirt. Or your bottom. This will be your front bottom. The front of your pants if you're doing that, or shorts, or whatever you're doing. Now I'm going to tell you, you're going to do, if you're doing pants or shorts, you obviously will do one pocket to one front piece and then one pocket to the other front piece. So don't get confused by the front and the back. Make sure you're doing the right pattern piece, one to the front and one to the back. Now that this is pinned on, I'm going to sew around that rectangle. I'm going to sew that around that rectangle. I'm just going to do a straight stitch on my sewing machine. Sorry, I'm changing my foot because I've got a different kind of foot on there. I'm going to put it to the side because I'll need it. So if I forget where I put it and I'm asking you, please tell me. It's right there next to me, next to the machine, because I'm going to need that foot in a little bit. That's my zipper foot. I will need that in just a little bit when I put my zipper on. I'm going to go ahead and sew this on. Straight stitch. Over. Down. Or up, depending on how you look at it. And over. Then when I get to the edge, I'm going to go back, I'm just going to back stitch over it. Hold on. Alright, here it comes. I sewed over that rectangle, you can see it on the back. Okay, that pin is hanging on by a little tiny thread. Taking the pins off. I'm going to use my pen, and I'm going to mark a line. I guess you could use your ruler, probably best thing to do. From one dot to the other. Just a straight line, I'll show you. And then I'm going to go up to one side of the, from the from the dot I made and up to the other side, to the other corner. See what I did that? Straight line and then line up, down, down. Now I'm gonna cut first that straight line with scissors and go all the way to the dots. Then I will go up and just get really close to the thread, but don't clip the thread, okay? Get close to the thread, but don't clip it. Close to the thread, but don't clip it. Close to it, but don't clip it. If you clip it, go back on your sewing machine and run over it again. But don't clip it. And I said that to you like 10 times. And watch me clip it. Okay, here I go. Straight line. Okay, all the way to the dotty dot dot. And then I'm gonna go to one side. Don't clip the thread. Yes. Other side. 1 out of 4. Yes. 2 out of 4. All right. Don't clip it. 3 out of 4. Come on. 4 out of 4. We made it. See? Now we're going to grab our pocket and we're going to fit it right into the hole that you just created. Push it back. Learning to make these pockets is really, really good because then you can add these kind of pockets to other things. Ooh, talk about hacking. Yes, I love hacking other patterns to do whatever I want them to do. Like a jacket, like the Duchess jacket, if you want to put these kind of pockets on it instead. How cool. Look at that. It is my honor to present to you my pocket hole and seam. See? Now we're going to do the fun part. Put our zipper on. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab our zipper now. Zipper now. Zipper now. Okay. And here on my zipper. And I'm going to put it face down into that pocket. The zipper part, the zipper hardware part, the part that goes up and down, that little thingy, like up and down zipper thing. Don't know what it's called. It's going to go right, butted up right against the top of the zipper. And then you can go ahead and pin your zipper on. Right. It should fit right to that hole. Now, as you can tell, my zipper is longer than I need it to be. I'm going to clip it. And you can actually go ahead and use your sewing machine, or if you don't want to use your sewing machine, you can just do it by hand or whatever and just kind of sew that shut, or use like the middle piece of your zipper, take that off and put it back on higher. It's up to you. I am going to do something that you probably will yell at me through the screen not to do. I'm going to run over it with my serger when I saw that edge around, because that's just what I want to do. Probably not the best thing on my serger, but I'm going to do it. I like to line up my zipper from the front because then I can line it up like right where I want it and pin. Okay, see my zipper right there? I don't know if you can see because it's kind of dark. Okay, and I'm gonna line it up right next to it. And I don't know if you can tell. And I probably shouldn't tell you because you probably can't even tell. But I am gonna tell you because if you can tell, then you're gonna be like, it's a navy blue zipper and I'm working with black fabric. Because, okay, I have this fabric in navy blue. I do. And I couldn't make up my mind if I wanted to do it in navy blue or black. Then I went to the store and I bought a set of black and a set of navy blue. Well, I made the Good Vibe joggers and I used the black because I used the black fabric for my Good Vibe joggers, a black fabric. And then I said, oh no, because I cut these out in black with that before realizing that I was using my, anyway, doesn't matter. You cannot, barely see it. And I did not want to go buy more zippers. That's how bad I am. Stripe matching is not the worst of it, guys. I'm sorry. All right, we're going to go really close up with our zipper foot. Here he is. And if you don't have a zipper foot, you can use your sewing machine. Just make your needle kind of go over the edge, so that way you can sew really close to the edge. This is what my zipper foot looks like. So the needle goes on this side, so it's like really slim on this side, so that it can catch so that it doesn't get stuck on the zipper. And when you go by the stopper, that's what it is, the zipper stopper thingy, you might want to pull it up or down depending on where that is, so that it gets out of the way. I don't know why I went to the side. Oh, because there is a wheel up here I could use, but I don't usually use it. Alright, here we go. I'm edge stitching, and actually I need to go out a little bit farther to the edge. And I am just making sure that it's right at the edge. All the way to the bottom. And we're going to turn. Ooh. And then we're going to go up. Remove the pins out of the way. I didn't even make sure my pocket's out of the way back there. Woo! And turn. And my zipper's on. I went all the way around the edges, and now my zipper is on. I'm going to take off my pins and steam that front. Zipper is on. Whoop. Yay! All right, we're gonna turn it around, and we're gonna work on the back now. We're gonna open that up, and we're gonna place our other pocket piece right on top of it, right sides together, and you're gonna pin. Actually, if you want to do it wrong sides, like the wrong side, so that the right side sticks up, so that way when you like fold your fabric out, you can see it. But if you open your zipper, then you don't want to see the back side of your fabric, so that's why you usually do it this way. I'm pinning around the edges, and I'm gonna sew around the whole edges of the pocket. And I'm gonna use my serger for that. And again, like I said, I'm going to run over my zipper here. This is where I'm gonna do it. Don't be mad at me. Make sure you move all the fabric out of the way. You don't want to catch, especially if you're doing it with a serger, you don't want to catch the other fabric underneath it and make a hole on it. So make sure you move it out of the way. All sewn together. My pockets are on. Yes, pockets on. I'm gonna turn it right side up. And I am going to grab my skirt back and put it right on top of it. And I'm gonna meet those raw edges on the sides. Put them together. And I think I was a little bit more careful with the skirt too. Try to line up the lines. See, I did a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna pin. And I am going to go ahead and sew those raw edges on this side. and do the same for the other side. Sew the raw edges on this side as well. And then after I sew those up, we're going to put the skirt and the top together. Or the skirt and the pants together if you're doing the pants. Putting them together. All right, let me do this, finish this up, and then we'll move on to the next step. Sides are on. If you want to go ahead and hem that skirt now, or shorts, you can go ahead and do that right now because we're gonna go ahead and attach it. So it might be easier to hem it now before we attach it to our shorts. And yeah, but what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and attach it. We're gonna find to our shorts, to our bodice. We're gonna find our half point. So we got our side seams. So we're gonna go find our side seams together and go to the front. Go to the front and clip. Go to the back and clip. Okay, and those are our front and back seams. Okay, then I'm gonna do the same for the top. We have our side seams, so I'm gonna meet up those side seams. And I'm going to the front and clip. And to the back and clip. Okay, now we're going to open it up and we're going to grab our skirt and we're going to turn it inside out and we're going to fit our skirt into our bodice so the right sides are touching of the skirt and the bodice. And we're going to match up those lines, front with the front, back to the back, sides to the sides. Matching up the raw edges, right sides together. And this is the time where you want to make sure, see right here, they line up a little bit. Yes. How did I do that? I am amazing. This is the bad thing about sewing with stripes, some kind of pattern. You're like, did I match them? Did I not match them? Especially when you're me and you're like, when you're cutting the pattern out. I should really pay more attention. I'm giving you all a bad example and I am so sorry. So sorry. Trying not to give you a bad example. I'm trying to be good, but sometimes I'm not the best at this stuff. Oh, but like the lines are matching up really nicely right now. Whoop, whoop. Crazy. All right. After we match up those raw edges, and I'm done pinning, we're going to use our sewing machine, and we're going to sew this together with a stretch stitch 1 inch from the edge. So we're going to measure 1 inch from the edge and go up and sew a stretch stitch all the way around. And so how I'm going to do that is I'm going to measure, ow, I just pinned myself. Got to change my foot again. Oh, wrong foot. Whoop. Come on, be kind. Just go where you belong. Okay, and I'm putting the other foot in here. And I am going to grab it and I'm going to measure 1 inch from the seam. There you are. And usually I mark it on my sewing machine, so I do have a line right here already that I marked with a pen before, or a marker or whatever. Like I have like 1 inch line right here, and you can mark it actually with a permanent marker and it'll just be there forever. And yeah, that's what I did. I have different marks for different measurements. And here we go. I said stretch stitch, didn't I? Listen to what I'm saying and do what I want you to do, not what you think you should do. Okay. I am going to go all the way around with that stretch stitch, keeping it at 1 inch allowance. And then we'll get back to the rest of it. with my stretch stitch, as you can see it, all the way around. We're gonna separate and we're gonna grab our bodice seam allowance. We're going to trim it off carefully. Carefully that you don't catch the shorts or skirt seam allowance. You're only cutting off the seam allowance from the skirt, from the bodice seam allowance. And careful that you don't go too close to the to what you sewed, your stretch stitch, and cut it. So just stay away from it. And we're trimming. Trimming, trimming, trimming. Okay, now that you're done trimming, so you can see the allowance of the skirt, but not the bodice. We're gonna go ahead and here's my bodice, it's coming out. And what we wanna do is we wanna iron on first the interfacing to the front side seam of the skirt or shorts, whatever you're doing. Okay, right above it, I mean right here, right above the seam, right at the middle. So you can go ahead and find your middle. If you already have the notch, I have the notch still right here. I can see it where my middle is right here. I'm gonna go ahead and iron some interfacing. After you iron on that interfacing, you can either, if you want to do grommets or just buttonholes, that's gonna be where your cord is gonna go. If you're gonna put a drawstring on here, that's where you're going to do it. So I am going to use, I don't know where my grommets went. I think I ran out of grommets. I have no idea where they are. I tried to look for them earlier, but I couldn't find them. Oh, now I find them. They're literally in front of my face. Like, that's embarrassing. So I'm not sure if I want to do grommets. Let's see. I don't know if I have enough. Because I used up a lot of my grommets for, I was making the Transformer jacket. So did you make that already? Because if you didn't, you need to. It is awesome. I actually have 2 left. Awesome possum. I'm going to do grommets. Have you done grommets? Grommets are fun. All right. So I've got my grommets. I'm going to grab my piece. I'm going to mark where my grommets are going to go. I'm going to grab one grommet, and let's see, to one side of the line. I'll put one grommet on one side of the line, and then the other grommet on the other side of the line. I'm making like a little star shape hole where my grommet is gonna fit. You don't have to do grommets if you want to do a buttonhole. You can. Honestly, this is knit, so if you just wanted to make a hole, you can. But people don't usually do that. And some people might frown upon me doing that, so I'm just going to go ahead and put a grommet on. The back end and then the front end right on top of it. See, my grommet's there. And now I have to beat it, but I don't have my mallet with me right now. So what you would do is you would put your back piece on there. If you have the same set of grommets like I do, I just bought these at a local store, and place the front right on top of it, and then the back, put it right on top of it right there, and then you would hit it with the mallet. I'm going to go get it. I'm going to hit it. I'm going to put the other one on, and then we'll come back to close out our area for the drawstring, and we'll be done. I'm going to go get my grommet. And you know what? I'll come back so I can show you how I hammer that thing down. I got my hammer. Oh, I love hammers. It's like you get to beat things. Where's my other grommet? What did I do with it? Ooh, it was right here. Whew. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put my grommet through the hole I made, my front grommet, which is the one that's higher up, like it has a higher lip. And then I'm gonna put my back grommet right behind it. Okay, and I'm gonna put that back piece, the black piece, if you have the same kit as mine. If you don't, then it'll be obviously something different. I'm gonna grab that other little piece that fits right into that hole. And then I'm going to grab my hammer and just hit it. Hit it like you want to hit something you don't like. Notice I said something, not someone. We shouldn't be hitting people. We should be kind and we should love one another. I don't know where that thing just went. So yeah, be kind. And so, do you know what I was thinking? Every time I say be kind, I always think, be kind, rewind. If you know what I'm talking about, give me a shout out. Let me know you know what I'm talking about. Be kind, rewind. Okay, we're going to fold that seam, that skirt seam or pant seam up. Okay, which will cover those grommets or those, what do you call them things? Buttonholes, and pin up. And then we're going to stretch stitch that on all the way around. All the way around. And we are basically done. We just have to hem. And depends on what kind of drawstring you're using. Are you using regular drawstring? Are you making your own drawstring? If you're making your own drawstring, that's pretty cool. Actually, you can make your own. You would grab a long piece of fabric and you would fold it down the middle and steam. Let's pretend this is it. Okay, you fold it down the middle and steam. And if it's a small piece of fabric like this, then you would sew it together and then you flip it and it's just one long string. But today I am just doing some stuff I already had. I'm using this right now. I'll probably make my own string later, but for now I'm just gonna use this what I have. So I'm gonna go ahead and zigzag stitch that on or stretch stitch that on the top of the seam allowance down to the bodice. Okay, towards the bodice, seam edge stitch that on with a stretch stitch. Where's my foot? Let's go. I'm gonna go ahead and keep doing that, and then we'll come back and we'll be almost all done. Yay! Sewn on. Yes, look at those stripes. Match strapping. I didn't even say that right. Stripe matching. Dyslexia. Yep, I know. Anyhow, I always mix it up. I'm sorry, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm gonna grab my drawstring. In this case, I'm just using this lovely stuff right here for now. And I'm gonna go through that through my drawstring, my, what is that called? Grommet. Now you know why I have such a hard time. I mean, okay, first of all, I'm speaking English, which is not my first language, it's my second language. But I've spoken, okay, let's see. No, I was gonna say half, well, yes, if you don't count my baby years, I probably have been speaking English half my life. And so yeah, wow, getting old. But anyway, and then I do suffer with some dyslexia, so I mix up my words and sometimes say in different ways. That's all right. I think you get my point. Sewing is just so great. It's like so therapeutic, and I just love sewing, and I love the sewing community. Everybody's so nice. I love seeing your comments. I love helping everyone else who's could be struggling, because I always feel like if I can do it, anyone can do it. It's awesome. I love it. I love, love, love it. And I love the end result. Like when we finish up and we're all done, and then we're like so proud. That's the best. So I'm just going all the way around, and when we're done going all the way around with this, if you have not hemmed your bottoms yet, this is when you would go ahead and hem. I already did hem my bottoms, so I am good to go. I'm almost there, don't worry. I know I'm talking your ear off, but at this point, let me remind you that we do have our Facebook and Instagram page, and if you're not part of our Facebook or Instagram, if you're not part of our Facebook page and you haven't liked our Instagram, Come join us. We'd love for you to come join us so you can see what everyone's making, and we'd love for you to share your makes on there too. We want to see what you're making. Give me a shout out. Let me know. I'd love to see what you are making. Let me know you were sewing it with me. I love to see it when you sew with me, and then I'm like, whoa, yay, she was sewing with me when I was sewing. I wasn't sewing by myself. So it's really always very exciting. So yes, that's great. Okay, here it is. My drawstring came all the way through. And we are done, and my drawstring is cut on my pin, but I'm just going to cut it off and move on, because that is what we do. We go on with the show. And yay, my romper is done. I can't wait to try it on. I'm gonna take a picture so you can see how well it fits. And I can't wait to see what you're making. So again, come join us on our Facebook or Instagram page. Information is below. And show us what you're sewing up. And I can't wait to see it. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Give me any questions if you have any on the comments below. Yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And comment, like, share, and we'll see you all next time.